It's the weekend, and I am already up, out and about, doing my things. I've been up for hours, to be honest, but it's nothing new. Definitely nothing new. Being is freeing. Being is freeing. Just being is freeing. And that goes on so many different levels. But specifically, I'm going to be talking about mainly to do with consumption, and also to do with just allowing things to naturally unfold, just allowing them to be. So actually first I will talk about just allowing things to be, just being, just allowing things just to be without the attachment, which is very, very hard to do because, sorry, I'm just seeing a guy with 2 dogs being dragged down the road. Random, but funny. But anyway, yeah, just being and just allowing things to be without the attachment to a particular thing is ultimately, I believe personally, where we kind of want to be, because when you have no attachment, where you just love everything and just allowing things to be, and you can have a love for things, you can have a love for beings, you can have a love for all, without the attachment. I don't know, it's just very freeing. You don't have any ties, you don't have any, you can just show up, you can just be present in the world. And for me, it hasn't always been that way. I definitely know that when I've been attached to things, they move further and further away from you. So I don't know if you can relate, but have you ever loved something, or had a love for something, or been so attached to something that it's moved further and further away from you? Because for me personally, from my experiences, that's probably always been the case, even when I've not really thought about it too deeply. Just on the situations and the things that I've had, that has been the case. But now, just living in this reality and in this current state that I currently have and embody, I seem to be attracting a whole lot more because I'm already satisfied. I've already got that gratitude towards everything that's in my life. So the universe is just like, hey, have some more, take some more. And maybe you've had that similar experience of having gratitude, like really having gratitude, where it's just like so embodied and so embedded in your heart that you're just so grateful. And sometimes having that gratitude, that level of gratitude and that gratefulness comes with loss, and that's definitely been my reality. And now I'm able to just have a more open heart. I'm able to allow more love in. I'm able to allow and give more love, because you can't give what you don't have. And yeah, I think we live in a world where, you know, many people are trying to win over other people, so they will sabotage themselves. And sabotaging yourself comes at a price to yourself. whether it's being run down, whether it's, you know, now you're depressed, you're just suppressing everything, you have anxiety, you have health issues, health problems, because you're not prioritizing yourself. And sometimes it can seem as though you are, I guess, that's been labeled as being selfish when you're kind of just attending to yourself, but it's not the end or be all, because, you know, in order to give, you got to make sure that your cup is, you know, you got to make sure that your cup is full enough to be able to give. And when you've got a cup that's overfilled and overpouring and overflowing, you'll find that you're just able to really show up pretty much all the time, as long as you're doing what you need to do for you. You got to make yourself a priority. So when I rise, that is me as my priority. And I would say throughout the day, I make sure that I am prioritized. I won't do things that goes against myself and my values. So yes, being is freeing. Being is freeing when you have the awareness to see in to your self ultimately. And when you have the experiences of life, when you go through life and you have these experiences, there's never a loss, it's always lessons, as long as you're learning the lessons, or you'll get repeated lessons. So when you're able to have these experiences and able to come out on the other end, you now have widened your horizon in terms of experiences, and being able to be relatable to other people, and also being able to take on what other people are experiencing to some level of degree. So I feel like I'm able to relate to many people on different levels, and because I've also had these similar experiences, not direct same experiences, because no matter what we're going through, no matter the experience that we're experiencing, it's always going to be different to each individual person. So yes, probably not touched everything I wanted to on that, but then now the other point, the other side to being is freeing, is consumption. And consumption in terms of what you're feeding yourself with, whether it's what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're reading, who you're surrounded by, or who you're surrounding yourself with, and then of course what you're consuming in terms of food and drinks, and I don't know, maybe you're on medication, whatever you're feeding this vessel with. This is the vessel, this is the vessel, this is your everything, really. Everything in terms of, this is your receiver of information, and when you are a clear channel, you're able to get more information, just like the tools that we have, like a phone or a radio. When you're tapped into a frequency, you're able to pick it up, and it's not so far-fetched, it's not as far as you think it may be in terms of the relatability to what I'm saying. And it might hit you at a different time. What I'm saying now, maybe just like, oh, sounds all right. Maybe the spirit, your soul, is shaken slightly by what I'm saying. And now that you've heard what I've said or what I'm saying, over time, you may start picking up more information on a particular thing if you're in resonance with what I'm saying. But specifically the food, when you free yourself from the addiction, and maybe you don't know you're addicted to what you're consuming. Maybe you just think, oh, you know, I'm gonna have my 3 meals a day, I'm gonna have certain types of food. But when you really awaken to the truth behind what you're consuming and the effects, the long-lasting effects of what you're consuming, when you have that self-awareness, you start making better choices. Sometimes you can have the self-awareness without the right action. A right action could be fasting, something that I live by now. It never always used to be my reality, but it is now, and it's something that I do daily. There's different levels to fasting. There's different levels of detoxing, cleansing your vessel. But once you get clearer, when you're cleaner, everything's clearer. And I put that on everything. And for those that can resonate with what I'm saying, it's because you have the experience, and there's layers and there's levels. There's definitely levels, and I'm still leveling. I'm still experiencing. I'm still on my journey, and I'll forever be on my journey. I'll forever be a student. I'm always going to be a student, because I'm always going to be open-minded to learning, to growing, to nurturing. It's not about knowing one thing and thinking you know it all. Like, you will be humbled, and once you start thinking that you're a master of any particular thing, you've basically put a cap on your growth, because you think, oh, that's it now. And pride and ego will keep you stuck for a very long time until you can drop it. Some people may say, oh, we have to have pride and ego. I beg to differ. There's a time and a place. It's about being self-aware. Like, I can show up without thinking I'm anything but self, without putting myself above, below anybody. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful journey. Life is a beautiful journey. Sometimes you may have darker times, you may perceive them as darker times, but ultimately the universe, God, source, creator, is always trying to give you the best case scenario. Even though you may not see it right now, when you do cross that hurdle, when you do pass that pivotal point in your life, you'll realize that this had to happen for the greater good of my reality. And yeah, that's it really. So being is freeing. We are meant to be human beings, not human doings, and we do a lot of doings. But why not just be? Why not just be present? You can't be present if you're stuck on thinking about past stuff, which is the cause of your depression. You can't be being, you can't be just being if you're always looking ahead, which is the reason why you suffer with anxiety. But being is a place of peace. Being is a place of presence. Being is looking into nature, seeing what nature's doing, with no rush, with no hurry, with no anything, but just experiencing the day as it is, how it is, and allowing it to be however it's meant to be. Be present. That's the goal. That's the aim. And I would say I've been there for a bit of time, and there's levels to being present to, but I can definitely say I'm on that journey, I'm on that ladder, I'm on that frequency. And something I've realized, especially when I was doing my juice cleanse, this was when I was like 3 months of just doing watermelon juice. When I was just doing watermelon juice, every single day I was having watermelon juice, it tasted better. It almost tasted, like, no, it actually felt like it was tasting better and better by the day. So it was like it was giving me more and more and more and more and more and more and more. But how can something give you so much more when you've already been consuming that thing for a particular amount of time? There's just levels, and it's something that I can't explain, but it's something that I've experienced, and it's something that I can talk about. And for me and my journey, it seems like things are just getting better and better. Yes, things will happen, may happen. Yes, things may shake you up a little bit. Everything is perfect, because everything is perfection. Even if you see something that looks imperfected and is imperfect, it's still perfect in its own right, in its own way, because we are single points of an expression of the divine. We are all gods. We are all these perfect points of experiences of the oneness. The divinity is in all of us, and whether you are not feeling good, maybe you're angry, maybe you're whatever you are at this moment, just know you are still perfect, and the universe is always trying to work with you, not against you. The world is always trying to work with you, not against you. And when you're able to change that mindset, when you're able to shift, everything else will shift around you. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I've reached my destination. And I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Please do leave a comment or something if what I'm saying resonates with you. Maybe you have a topic you want me to touch on. I'm more than happy to talk on stuff if you have a suggestion. And do check out my socials if you feel called to. And I will catch you